the Pacers, to me, were the healthy team. They had the best player in this series in Tyrese Haliburton. He seems like he thrives when the pressure is on him. After what happened in that Bucks series and what his father did, I think he wanted to step up and show everybody why he's one of the best point guards in this league. I think this guy is a huge personality. The NBA needs a player of this magnitude. He stands up for all the different players over the years that couldn't succeed over there with the Pacers. I can go on and on and on, and teams, great Pacer teams that couldn't get over the hump. This is a Pacer team that has a chance to go to the finals this year. Last year, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. It seems like they get better and better and better. Rick Carlisle is one of the most underrated coaches in the NBA right now. Defensive-minded, but really has transitioned his style of play into an offensive style of play in a fast-paced, young youth type of rotation. I love what Tyrese Haliburton stands for. I just don't like how he opens his mouth in certain aspects, either during the game or after the game, where he throws other teams under the bus, players under the bus. We heard what he said about the New York Knicks last year. We've heard what he said about numerous teams over the last couple of years. I think he needs to learn how to...
He comes by it honestly, obviously, as from what we've seen.
Yeah.
From what his dad is.
Yeah, well, I think he's cocky, but it's good to be cocky. When you trust in your game and you trust in your personality, you love what he stands for. Evan Mobley, he needs to be traded in the offseason. Evan Mobley just doesn't stand for what you're looking for a big man that's going to want to get paid a lot of money. This is a guy that I think just got extended, if I'm not mistaken. He just got extended, and even though he scored 24 points, it was in a game that you want him to take over. If you know your best player isn't 100% healthy, Garland's not 100% healthy, you expect this guy to score 35 points, dominate on the offensive side of the boards. Why are you letting other players outplay you on the boards and defensively? Mobley is not the player I thought he was going to be when he came out of USC. I think he needs to be an optional player that they look to move in the offseason if they want to get better. Maybe add a Giannis and trade Mobley and a bunch of players in that trade to land a superstar to go and play with Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. But to me in this series, it really stands for one thing. The Pacers are ready to take that next step forward. They're going to either have to go through the Celtics and the Knicks. I believe whoever wins this series with the Celtics and the Knicks are favorites of coming out of the East and winning the NBA championship. There's only one team out of the four teams in the Western Conference I think could beat the Knicks or the Celtics before Tatum went down, and that team is the Nuggets. And the Timberwolves, I question their rotation, and I question is a guy like Randall, if the Timberwolves go to the finals, are they going to be able, or is he going to be able to step forward and beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden when the fans are going to be pouncing on him as they've done many, many years when he was over there, when he was shooting bricks? So I just think that this series really lies on the Knicks getting through the Celtics and then challenging a young Pacer team and a Tyrese Haliburton and how you shut him down. The advantage I think the Pacers have for the rest of the playoffs, no matter how far they go, is they have the best coach in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
By far. Right now, if you look at the coaches from OKC to the Timberwolves to the Knicks to even the Celtics, Rick Carlisle is the best coach out of all of them. He's a champion. He's coached multiple great teams over the years. He comes back to the Pacers after stepping down and walking away from a Dallas Maverick team that won a championship a couple of years ago with Dirk Nowitzki. You have Luka Doncic. You have all the players, and then you give the reins to Jason Kidd. You go over there to a young Pacer team and really completely change the transition of a young team after you make a trade for a guy like Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, that's the advantage the Pacers have right now going in every single series is they have by far the best, most knowledgeable coach in the NBA and throughout the NBA playoffs, really this season and the last couple of seasons. That's why the Pacers went all the way to the finals last year. It had nothing to do with their talent, because if you look at right now, do you think they were more talented than the Cavaliers, even though the Cavaliers weren't 100% healthy? Not a chance in hell. It was not even a chance in hell. And I'm not taking shots at Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson's a great coach, but Kenny Atkinson has never taken a team as a head coach to an Eastern Conference Finals. I don't even think he's taken a team to the semifinals ever, even with the Nets. So
no, I think he was fired 1 year they did.
Yeah, so I don't think he's ever gotten that far as a head coach. He was there for the Golden State Warriors. He did win a championship with the Golden State Warriors, but he was an assistant head coach. So there's a lot of pressure on Kenny Atkinson. I think eventually he'll get over the hump, and this team is really, really good. I just think they're missing something. The Pacers, they're not a good team. But why couldn't they win a championship? If you look at those Pacers teams, and I know we got to move on. If you look at the Pacer teams that were championship competitive team, who was the best player on that team? Reggie Miller. Who was the second best player on the team? Rick Smits? I mean, they didn't have great players. Jalen Rose? I mean, they weren't good. Jalen Rose was...
They were good on NBA Jam, though.
Yeah, they were. They were mean.
Yes, they were.
They had the two Davis guys. I mean, they had Antonio. It wasn't Antonio Davis, but the two Davis they called them brothers, but they weren't brothers. But they had the Davis boys. At one time, they had Mark Jackson, but they weren't. Their secondary options offensively were not good. Why were they so good? Coaching, one. And the way they played, they were tough. And that's what this Pacer team is. They're tough. That's what they are.